Okay. So I'm also having, I know, muffler problems. It's going the muffler on it. In Canada, of course, we have lots of salt on our roads, and it's expected that that many years on a salted road that would go. So due to the starter and due to the fact that I'm sure I'm going to have to do something about the muffler at some point, I've been looking around at new cars. Have I used up my time as far as talking with you?
No, matter of fact, before you hang up, I wanted to ask you a question about your reaction to the 20% tariff that the U.S. is talking about assessing as a. What's the feeling? I guess I know what the feeling would be. It's not something you'd like to see happen.
No, of course not. No, we're hoping, Canadians are hoping that it doesn't go through with it, but from what I hear about your soon-to-be President Trump, it sounds like he's pretty certain to go through with that. The talk up in Canada is how it's going to affect you and your economy.
Yeah.
I think Justin Trudeau, our Prime Minister, is in Florida right now speaking with Mr. Trump.
Mm-hmm.
That's the news that I had gotten. So hopefully they'll work out something that's reasonable for all of us.
You probably want to buy your car in the United States and drive it back to Canada, because it will really raise the price of the Canadian cars.
It will, but then we get, of course, hit on taxes when we cross into anything that we purchase in the U.S. and bring across. I mean, we're allowed $800 tax-free, and after that we have to pay multiple taxes. After paying your taxes, we also have to pay ours on top of that.
Well, hopefully they negotiate a settlement on that. But I think both sides would hate to see that happen.
Definitely. I don't think it would be helpful for either America or Canada.
Yeah, kind of productive. Jane, it's been a pleasure talking to you, and I'm going to remind you to please stay on the air and leave your contact information, and the studio will get that to me. And when I get back to my office, I will write you out a check.
Oh, well, thank you, Nancy. That's a
Happy
bonus.
Holidays.
Thank you.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you, and to you as well.
Do you have another question?
Well, I haven't used up all the time allotted for me. I was just wondering if I've been shopping for new cars, but not seriously. And I'm a fairly active person still, even in my old age. And I like to do camping, and I also bike and kayak. And so I like to fit these things in my car, which was well named, the Honda Fit, I could do that.
Yeah.
And now I'm looking at either the Honda HR-V, or I was also looking at the Subaru Crosstrek.
We've got two good cars you're looking at. Both.
Yeah, two fantastic
we
cars.
recommend both of those as being high-quality cars.
And so does Consumer Reports.
Yes.
And Jane, before you go, congratulations on being so active. And I can understand the, accommodations with your what you do and your vehicle. I want to tell you, you're sitting on top of a knowledge, and it's on your PC, on the internet, and we can't brag enough about Consumer Report. Earl and I both use Consumer Report so much that he has his own magazine and I have mine. So that is a great place to go for any information that you may want before you purchase your next vehicle.
Okay.
All right.
That's good to know. Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Jane.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, we're going to go to Diane, who has been holding, and I believe she's calling us from Massachusetts. Good morning.
I am. This is Diane from Massachusetts, yes.
Good morning, Diane.
Good morning.
And welcome. Diane, have you called the show before?
No.
Great. You just won yourself $50 this morning, And when we're finished speaking, Diane, if you'll leave your information with the control room, they'll pass it along to me. When I get back to my office, I'll write you out a check and mail that to you.
Thank you. That sounds great.
You're very welcome. What can we do for you this morning?
Well, I don't live in Canada, but I live in Massachusetts. We just had our first snowfall.
Yeah.
I would like to know why I have to replace the driver's side windshield wiper and not the other.
It's possible that one might have deteriorated a little faster than the other, or
Oh,
if
no, this is all the time.
really,
Yeah.
huh?
I mean, you can do two just because they'll both be brand new, but
Yeah,
the one
yeah.
on the driver's side one always goes first.
Now,
I don't know.
when you
Is it
say it
because of
goes,
the
does
truck?
it like start streaking or something, or?
Yeah, it starts streaking, yeah.
The first thing I would check, I know this sounds kind of silly, but the first thing I'd be checking is the windshield itself to see
Yeah.
if there's any issue with maybe some sort of buildup in a small area on the driver's side that's causing that wiper to have an issue. I'd also look at where the wiper, when they go to what's called the park mode, when the when you turn the wipers off and they kind of go down a bit,
Right.
maybe it's hitting something there that might be damaging it or hurting the rubber as it goes into that park mode spot.
Okay.
And I'd be looking also at the arms on the wiper, to see, are they getting the same, reasonably close to the same amount of pressure? Because if one is getting a lot more pressure than the other, say something's bent a little bit and it's pushing too hard against the glass, that could cause that wiper to break down a lot faster.
Oh, okay, great. I will do that.
That's where I'd be looking first for it.
Yeah, and what a great question. How many times I have encountered that, and you just wonder about your windshield blades, your windshield wipers, and the unevenness of the wear, and it's a mystery, but it sounds like as if that you're a consumer that's very educated, and you'll find out what is wrong with it.
Yes, I will. I will
That
get to the
misalignment will really, of the windshield wipers is really quite annoying because my windshield would have all these streaks on the one side.
Right.
So, and then of course the elements really play, havoc with everything. I'm not sure whether your car is inside or outside, but that
It's in
too.
the garage.
Pardon me?
It's in the garage.
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the blades that you choose, the quality, high quality blades, it's a better choice, I would say.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I hope we helped you.
You
and
did. Thank
if
you
you would
very
please
much.
spread the word that we are building the female audience here on Earl on Cars. And you play a big part in the auto industry, Jane. I'm not sure whether all the ladies know what how they impact the financial end of the auto industry, and women are very involved, and 85% of women, they impact finances. And if the car dealers ignore that, it's a financial disaster. So I thank
Right.
you for helping us build the platform here. Please spread the word.
I will. Thank you so much.
Have a great weekend.
You too.
Okay, we're going to go to Howard, who's been holding patiently. Good morning, Howard.
Oh, good morning. I have a question for Rick. Actually, two questions. Rick, when I start the car, it starts okay, but it makes a funny noise, like a squealing noise. Have you ever encountered something like that?
Yeah, multiple causes there. Possibly a belt when the car first starts up when it's cold. As the pulleys are trying to spin, if one of the pulleys is starting to get a little old, it may stick or seize a little bit and have to kind of break itself loose a little. You might have a little corrosion or something building up in there, one little spot. And so as that pulley's trying to spin, it has to kind of pop itself loose, and the belt may slip a little bit before that pulley starts to move. And that would obviously cause a squealing type noise. Potentially the starter could make a little bit of a squealing noise when it's trying to engage the ring gear to spin the engine over. There's a lot of different things actually that could cause that noise. The best way to narrow it down would be to have someone else start the engine and just kind of get your head under the hood and try to listen and figure out where that noise is coming from on the engine. And that would help narrow things down as to what the cause is.
Okay, next question. When I went into the dealership, Earl Stewart dealership, they changed the oil, and now the oil is not up to that mark, that full mark. It's like it's a quarter below. Is that normal?
Oh, no. That sounds like somebody might have goofed up and not got the proper level in there, because it should be right pretty much at that line for full when when you shut the engine off and let it sit on a good level surface. You want to make sure the surface is at least eyeball level, and wait about 5 to 10 minutes, give that oil a chance to drip from the engine back down into the pan, and then check your oil level, and it should be right at that full mark. If not, I would either add a little bit of oil to get it topped up to that full mark, or go back to the dealership and say, hey, I'm a little low here, guys. You did the service, and it's a little lower than it should be,
Rick,
and we should correct that.
Rick, what would the difference be in the level of the oil if the car was cold? In other words, if you drove the car home, parked it overnight, and it sat for almost a day, and you checked the oil, or you were on I-95 and you came home and you checked the oil right away, how much difference in terms of level would the heat of the engine cause?
Actually, not much. Engine oil really doesn't get that much expansion in it.
Oh, okay.
Like transmission fluid or water can.
Yeah.
Engine oil, it'll expand some, but on the dipstick, we're talking a difference of maybe a 1/16 of an inch, a very tiny amount on the dipstick.
So when you see your oil is lower, it is lower. It's just not a question of temperature or anything else. Okay.
But yeah, if it's down by like a quarter of an inch, or the distance between those two marks, if it's a quarter of that distance, then yeah, you're a little short on oil, and it's not a dangerous thing, because as long as it's not going below that bottom mark, you've still got plenty of oil for the engine to be safe. But I would go back in and say, hey, this needs to be corrected. Please adjust this to get it to that top level.
Yeah.
And that's something we need to educate our whichever employee did that, or our lube techs. They need to be re-educated, because they should be checking the oil level when they finish and fill it up.
Yeah, Howard,
they should recheck it right then.
Rick makes a very good point there, and every dealership, every independent repair facility, for that matter, the starting place for a new technician, if you want to be a technician and end up like Rick, who's been doing this for 25 years and really knows what he's doing, he's got all of his certifications, they start on the lube rack, and they might not even have any experience in automotive. That's where they learn. So your oil is being changed often by a student, let's put it that way. And when the student learns enough, then they promote him to a different level. And as I say, eventually their goal is to be a certified diagnostic master technician. So you should always be careful. You think of it as being a simple procedure, but when you're fooling around with your oil level, changing your oil, you got to get the right oil, you got to get the right amount of oil, and sometimes you got to worry about getting any oil, because there are cases where young guys have really screwed up, and a car goes out on the road with no oil in it. You're always better to have, if you can, get at least a more experienced apprentice type person that is going to be handling your oil, because you can burn your whole engine up, and these young guys are, they don't mean to do it. It's just a lack of experience.
Yeah, they're young. they get caught up in the moment and they're trying to move too fast, and they forget sometimes to do that double check. And one of the biggest lessons I learned as a mechanic very early on, always double check yourself, because even the best mechanics can make mistakes. I mean, we're all human, but a mistake is simply something that needs to be corrected and learned from.
Okay, and another fast question for you. What if an EV gets stuck with no more electricity power, and they break down on the road? What happens then? Can someone they have to be towed, or can it be charged with another vehicle?
The simplest solution there, and as silly as this sounds, I've actually seen this both on the internet, and I've seen one case in the real world where this happened. A generator, that home generator that we use when the hurricanes come through and we all lose power, you can load that in a vehicle, take it to the place where the car is, fire up that generator, take it out of the car, obviously, get it out in the open air, fire it up, plug the car in, and just let it charge for a while. It's the basically the same thing as bringing a can of emergency gasoline to get that car back on the road. But once you get a sufficient charge to get that car to a charging station, everything should be fine.
That's amazing. Will AAA do that?
That I can't speak to, and I kind of think they would not, because of the time involved in that and the fact that AAA may not have those generators available. Their option, probably their first thought would be to come to you and get the car on a flatbed, tow it to a charging station, drop the car off, and let it recharge there.
I don't know if that would be covered. Probably be an extra charge for that.
And that's something you'd want to check with AAA about, for that sort of situation.
Yeah, very interesting.
I know,
great.
like the road rangers would probably be able to arrange for a tow. They might charge for it a small amount, but they would probably be able to arrange for a tow to like the nearest service station to get you charged up.
Okay, I'm going to say to you, thank you very much. And now people don't say that anymore. They say, thank you so much.
Right.
So,
yeah.
Really, just think about it.
I have thought about that.
Thank you very much.
I've thought about all the time it's gone. It's always so much.
You are quite welcome, sir. Quite welcome indeed.
Yeah.
Okay, you have
Very
a great
welcome.
show. Keep up the good work, guys.
Oh, thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye.
Rick, I learned something new this morning about belts, and that's the serpentine belt, and then we have the fan belt.
Well, you can have a single serpentine belt where one belt will run many pulleys. You can have a system where there are multiple belts where each one runs only one or two pulleys. And then there are some cars that will have one belt running a bunch of pulleys and another belt running several pulleys. I mean, it's weird what some of these engineers have come up with.
Well, it's funny because it's all like very sophisticated, condensed versions of what in the 19th century, like the steam, just the concoctions of all the wheels, and they just got it down good.
As a matter of fact, there was.
Is it more time consuming? Whether it's the problem with the squealing is coming from the serpentine belt or the fan belt, which one is more expensive?
Well, serpentine belts can be more expensive because they're bigger, wider. They run a lot more of the pulleys. For a mechanic, if the car has three different belts that run three separate pulleys, it makes it rather easy for us because you can take off the belts, put one back on at a time, and run the car each time. And whichever one's making noise, you narrow it down that way. With the serpentine belt, you're kind of stuck. You have to try to zero in because all the pulleys are running, and you can't simply eliminate them one at a time that way. And by that, we simply use a set of stethoscopes. We'll go in and listen very closely and basically try to figure out which piece is making the most noise.
Can we get a picture next time we have a team of technicians with their stethoscopes out listening to an engine?
Really?
Absolutely.
Okay, please do that for us.
I've done that
Great
quite a few
idea,
times. Yep.
Okay, we are going to stay with the phones, and we're going to go to Ellen. Good morning, Ellen. Ellen's calling us from Pompano Beach.
Yes, hi. You've helped me
Ellen,
before.
are you a first-time caller?
No, you've helped me before. You were
Oh,
very
great!
nice to
It's
me and
nice to hear
everything,
from
yeah.
you again.
Yeah, I had bought a 2023 late in the year, but it was new, and they had charged me all these extra fees, and I called your show, and you helped me with that.
Oh, great!
But so that was very good. Had dealt with Al Hendrickson, and you really
Now I remember Alec Hendrickson.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
But now I got another issue.
Well, great.
That
I'm glad
car-
you're bringing it to us. Thank you.
The car was like 11 months old, and it wound up with a lot of rust and on its brakes and underneath the underbody. And I know I live like 1.5 blocks from the ocean, so I know that I don't know what the cause was. So because we couldn't really figure it out, they offered me a deal of a 2025 car and pay $3,000 extra. So I went for it because, the other car was all rusted underneath. They showed me and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
So this car, even though I was careful with the other one, I was very on top of this car. I was washing it every week to, get the salt off and using it practically every day. They said you should use it. Mm-hmm. And now the car's like less than 3 months old, and I looked underneath for some reason the other day, and I'm seeing rust all across the exhaust pipes. I was so shocked. Mm-hmm. And, not just a little bit. It was like all across it. And now I don't know what to think. I called them up. I'm going to go into, Monday, and they're going to put it on the list, I hope, to see, exactly what it is and how far out it is. But I said, can't you put on the undercoating or something? And they told me on the phone, they said that the exhaust pipe, you can't do that because of the heat. So I don't understand. There's no options or anything. You're just stuck because you live. I'm thinking of moving because I don't want to go to another car. This is crazy. 2 new cars in one day.
Depending upon who you talk to, excuse me. As far as your rust is concerned on your tailpipe, what they're going to say is it's common because of where you live and the environment. I don't know. I don't want to settle for that answer. Rick, what's your solution?
Unfortunately, my first thought is that, they're kind of correct because trying to put any coating on the exhaust pipe, because of catalytic converters, exhaust pipes run at around 600 to 700 degrees Fahrenheit. So any sort of an undercoating that you might spray on there,
I could sear a steak on that,
is going to burn off very, very quickly. It's going to literally burn and fall apart. And unfortunately, of course, that heat actually causes an increase in the oxidation of the metal, which is what rust is. And that salt landing on the pipe, the salt air, even though you're 1.5 blocks from the ocean, those ocean breezes are blowing that salt right in.
I have a thought. My thought is you were thinking about moving away, and that's an extreme solution. But what year is your car? What kind of car is it?
No, it's a 2025. It's only 2 months old.
Yeah, you said you had just bought that, right?
Okay, but what kind of car is it?
They swapped me out for the 2023, which the same thing happened.
Okay, but what model is it?
Oh, I'm sorry. It's a Toyota Camry.
Okay, a Camry. Okay. There are other vehicles out there that have recessed tailpipes. And so short of moving to a place away from the ocean, it would be cheaper to get rid of the new 2025 Camry and find a vehicle. I think there's some Lexus, and there seems to be a chrome. You don't see the actual tailpipe. They're recessed, and there's exhaust ports.
Well, on this one, you don't see it as much as I saw in the other one, but it's not just the tailpipe. The tailpipe, I understand.
Oh, okay.
This is the whole exhaust pipe when I looked underneath.
Right.
Well,
Alan, would you say that this is...
the whole pipe, the
What's the harm to that?
probably.
Yeah.
What's the harm to that, Rick?
Well, a little bit of surface rust won't hurt anything because it's not going to eat through the metal very quickly. It'll take years and years to do that. My suggestion would be, do you have a possibility of parking in a garage or parking your car in an area where it's not as exposed to that easterly wind that might be blowing that salt water towards you?
Driving it in there. Yeah.
Changing the location of where you park your car.
Not where I live. There's a waiting list for the garages and the parking. Now, there's a big parking lot, and I can't really, I possibly could buy another spot somewhere in it.
Car
But
cover,
the thing
Rick?
is,
I don't know if that's going to help. I notice I live in Jupiter, which is a little bit of ways from the beach, and I get no salt buildup on my windows. When I park at the dealership at Earl Stewart Toyota, which is very close to the Intercoastal, but it's not even on the ocean. It's half, it gets coated with salt. We have to spray our cars almost daily. Actually, we spray them daily to get the salt off the windows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As far as the rust is concerned, Ellen, would you say that it is, advanced rust, or would you say it's surface rust? And I'm keeping in mind this is a brand new car.
right. So that's why I'm going to go into them so they could look at it on the list. But
Okay,
when I
so you're
looked
not
at
sure
it,
whether it's advanced, whether it's really deep rust into the
didn't.
tailpipe and basically the rest of the car. It could
Well, the
be
whole
either one,
exhaust pipe,
advanced or
yeah.
surface.
I don't know, but I assume that's all called the exhaust.
Yeah, I would
system,
guess,
maybe,
Nancy,
the
just
catalytic and all that.
I bet you because how new it is, it would still be served. What if a regular, you can address that with, somebody can do with some steel wool or something if you
A wire
regularly
brush.
addressed it? Yeah, wire
Yeah,
brush.
wire brush.
Well,
Help
Well, I'm
extend
hoping,
it.
will the dealer do that?
No, Rick is shaking his head.
Yeah,
Yes,
the
you pay
drawback there is you'd have to get the car in the air because otherwise you're trying to crawl up underneath this vehicle.
Right.
And trying to clean that, you're talking a lot of elbow grease, a lot of work to try to scrub that.
Well, you have a brand new car.
Let me
Earl's got it.
interrupt and ask a question. At the very beginning, she asked about undercoating, and she was told the heat would not allow to undercoat the exhaust pipe. Why?
The pipe itself, the design.
What happens if you? I mean,
It would melt and
we
fall
used to
off.
undercoat cars all the time. We don't anymore. Back in the day, but if you, it seems to me, if you covered a exhaust pipe or with some sort of it would prevent the running.
Well, unfortunately, undercoats aren't meant to be high temperature coatings, and they would simply melt away.
Really?
Yeah,
And Rick, you're saying?
the extreme temperature of the engine, well, not the engine, but the exhaust itself, and this is caused by the catalytic converter, which its job is any excess fuel and air
Burn it.
that's in the exhaust is burned up in the catalytic converter to reduce emissions.
Well, ChatGPT does recommend undercoating. So
It's worth a try. But
I
So
think you should
you're
go under
saying,
the whole thing and then.
Rick, you're saying
why we
that
didn't
any
sell it.
kind of coating, would be detrimental.
Well, not detrimental. It wouldn't last. I don't think. You could try, and this would be something that would have to be done by the customer themselves, due to it's an environmental issue. You'd have to literally scrub the entire pipe clean to bare metal, and then coat it with a high temperature paint that is meant to designed to handle those high temperatures.
ChatGPT says that properly installed undercoating can last 2 to 5 years. High quality products and proper preparation are key to durability.
Ask
So,
if it follow up and ask will it adhere to a high temperature exhaust system?
Yeah. So the
So,
answer
but-
is to look into that, and that might be your answer.
But if I'm going to the dealer on Monday, I'm expecting that they would at least clean it. Now, do you think they would?
Well, yeah, they'll charge you for it, but I if they don't do undercoating, I would check around and find out who does undercoating, and then I would ask about the guarantee on resistance against heat and the guarantee on how long it'll last, and then I would know what I would pay, and I'd have my that area down there undercoated. I think if they tell you that it's not going to last or there's no warranty on it, then I wouldn't pay any attention. But I got to believe there's a material that would prevent the rust on a tailpipe. I just got to believe that.
So even under a new car with the warranty and everything, they still would charge me to clean it off?
That's the bad part
hang on,
about it.
Let me jump in here real quick. I don't know of any dealers that offers like rust removal from your car as a service. I mean, that would probably be used tools. That would be the body shop would be, with grinders like brush grinders and things like that.
Yeah.
And so it'd also make a big mess in the service department bay.
They would make the argument that the rust isn't causing a problem, and they say it's surface rust because if you, I'm driving the car right now, brand new 2024 Tesla Cybertruck, and I've got rusty hubs on all four of them. And when I called Tesla, I said, "Why is it happening?" He says, "We ran out of hubcaps, and we'll let you know when we get some hubcaps."
That's an honest answer, though.
Yeah. So,
by the way, I did ask ChatGPT. Can our vehicle undercoatings work on a hot exhaust system? And ChatGPT says no. Vehicle undercoatings are not designed to withstand the extreme temperatures of a hot exhaust system. Most undercoatings, such as rubberized or asphalt-based coatings, are formalized, but it goes on the car, but it doesn't last on that part. But everything else gets protected because it's not so hot.
Yeah, and Ellen, if you can find these rust protectors. I guess that might be what you call them. I don't know, Rick, correct me if I'm wrong. But there's neutralizers out there that you can safely, not you literally, but that you can use. It will help you, from one of these, I'll call it an outbreak of rust. You'll protect your tailpipe and move on and just wait and see what happens.
I just have just two more short questions. One is that if it is surface rust, is it dangerous? I mean, not dangerous.
No, it's not going to cause a problem. No. And there's one other thing here that our AI overlords have told us. There's a ceramic coating, and I think Earl mentioned earlier high temperature paint. These two things are different than undercoatings, but look into that research. Do a Google search on high temperature paint or ceramic coating for an exhaust system. It says it might be specifically designed for them. So maybe that could be an option.
Okay. And one more thing. If you're in a parking lot like I have, but we have assigned spots. Now, how far out would you say you're safe from the salt air? I mean, I'm thinking if there's wind and everything, even if you're not, you're further into the parking lot or around the corner from it, that it still can hit it. So I don't know. Is there an area where it would be safe outside in that parking lot?
Anything that gets between your car and the ocean is going to help protect you, like other cars, a wall, anything that would keep that salt from being blown directly onto the car will help to reduce that. But one thing you can actually do that can help is about once a week or so, go to the local car wash, but find one that has an undercar spray so that as you're going through, it'll clean the underside of the car, and that'll help get the salt off of that exhaust to help reduce it. It won't eliminate it, but it will help reduce the speed of which the corrosion occurs.
Yeah, it's really, it's very helpful to reduce, great word, or to maintain as far as the soap and everything else that we just talked about. But it's real tough to run from the elements, that's for sure. Yeah. Earl and I both keep our cars in the garage. Yeah. And we have a lot of stainless steel, let's put it that way. And if you just stand there and you scratch your head because you see the rust that's, just created by being inside a garage. Yeah. So it's tough to control the salt because it's everywhere.
Nancy, I found a product, and it's called Cerakote. And if you have a pen...
Cerakote.
Cerakote. Okay. It's like CeraVe, the facial cleanser.
Yep. Like an exfoliation?
Well, I think the Cera comes from ceramic, so it's called Cerakote Ceramic Coating, and it's Cerakote, and it's designed to protect your exhaust system from the elements.
Oh, great!
So there you go, and it also claims to have some other things like improved airflow because it's all smooth now, but that who knows? So. Look it up. I don't know. There are authorized applicators around the country, so you'll have to look that up.
Also, what about those little underbody sprays that you can buy and you push under your car? You attach
just to wash the salt inhibitors? I think that's
Yeah.
fine. Yeah, to get the salt off it. Yeah, fresh water is definitely better than a coating of a salt.
Oh, yes.
And
Okay.
ChatGPT has so many suggestions.
That
It's
might be the answer.
a great place to go. Do
That
you
might be
use
an answer.
ChatGPT?
Constantly chat me.
No,
GPT.
Ellen.
And we're probably going to be replaced by ChatGPT because
They can talk like us.
If we go back and look at every piece of advice we give, and
it's
we go
using it already.
Yeah, ChatGPT. If we didn't check it, it's there.
Well, ChatGPT is probably using our own advice from what stuff online
Oh, yeah, they
to
are.
form
Yeah.
its intelligence. Yeah.
Ellen, it's been
We
a
are
pleasure.
ChatGPT.
Oh, thank you so much for your time and patience.
Oh, you're
and,
quite welcome.
I
Ellen, I'd
appreciate it.
really appreciate it if you'd give us a call back and tell us
Okay.
the solution
Okay.
that you chose.
All right. Okay,
I bet the
thank you
sprayer
very much.
thing's going to do it. The
Yeah,
thing that goes under. That's going
the
to.
Cerakote?
No, not Cerakote. I think that's going like to a, you're never going to do that. Let's be
Okay.
realistic. But the thing where you can push the water sprayer, it's going to keep it off. I bet you that'll make it last longer.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, it's her
Thanks,
idea.
too.
That was
Hey,
yours, Ellen.
Cerakote is going to be an extremely expensive.
Yeah, don't. That's a
Solution.
possibility, but. bleh.
Do car washes offer this?
Oh yeah, they go under.
Well, then why?
Yeah.
Take it to the car wash once a week.
Yeah, take it to a car wash.
Yeah.
You just got to get fresh water on that sucker.
Yep.
I have faith Ellen's going to give us a call and she's going to tell us what solution she chose. We are going to go to Dick and his Dick Pace. Dick Pace is calling us from Jupiter. Good morning.
Good morning. How y'all doing?
We're great. Welcome.
Well, I've been a long time listener and called many times. But I thought I'd call in this morning and relate my experiences with buying a car.
All right.
Okay.
And it went about 20 minutes and it was done.
Wow.
That's the best
Guess
kind
what
of
kind of car it was? Guess what kind of car it was?
Tesla.
Cybertruck.
Oh boy.
I was
Look
going to
at
say
it.
because it was about the same with Earl and Nancy when they went in there. I'm like, okay, I'm prepared to block out some time to go along with this delivery. No, it was nothing.
Yeah, you
It was
were
nothing.
really- you were really
Nick,
surprised.
you know I've got a
You're
Cybertruck. Have you seen? I had mine polished to a mirror finish.
I know. That's one reason I called.
Oh, did you really? Yeah, I love it. I mean, I drove it to the Nancy and I came here in the Cybertruck, and it's just fun. I mean, then the mirror finish is unbelievable, and the little things in life make me happy. Every time I walk into the garage and I see my reflection in my Cybertruck, I feel better. So
Yeah, Dick,
you're going to love it.
You know, the wrap has twofold for Earl and I, walking out into the garage and looking into the Cybertruck,
Yeah.
making sure that we're set to go out into the world properly.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, well, I wanted to ask you. I thought it looked beautiful when you walk around last week. You did a walk around.
Yeah.
It looked beautiful. I was wanted to ask you where you had it done.
Well, we did it at our body shop at Earl Stewart Toyota, and I was the guinea pig because we hadn't ever done one, and I guess very few people have done one.
They had a train.
Rick Kearney, sitting here next to me, happened to mention a couple of months ago. He says, "You're not going to believe this, but I saw a Cybertruck on the road, and it looked like glass. It looked like a mirror, and they had polished it." And he got so excited about it, so I went and Googled it and ChatGPT'd it, and found out that it was a process that the Cybertruck community was using. And so I called my body shop manager, and he hadn't heard of it, but he investigated. Long story short, it took him about 4 days, and they had to experiment with different types of sandpaper and polishing, and it took a long, long time. So we've got it down now where we can do it in a day, I think.
Oh yeah, it's they're
Yeah. So
Yeah, well, I know I've seen on YouTube half a dozen of them have been done.
yeah.
And I thought it was admirable, and then here it was right here in River City with you.
Right. Rick?
Well, just wanted to let you know that the three guys in body shop whose shoulders got worn out from all the polishing, they're recovering nicely. So yeah, they should be back to work soon.
It's
They are,
really
by the way, they are expert. They are black belts in karate now.
Yes.
Stainless steel is
and
hard to
Dick,
work with.
it really gets us a lot of attention. Are you considering
Sure it does. even the truck itself gets your attention, but I can't go to the grocery store without spending a half an hour with the kids.
Yeah.
You're going to have a ball with that. It's just a lot of fun.
This is my second Tesla. I have an S. I've got 60,000 miles on it.
Now here's a weird thing. Here's a weird thing, Dick. I've never washed this car, and since it had the mirror finish, and Nancy's got the Tesla Plaid, and she gets hers washed every week. For some reason, the stainless steel polish.
You also have a ceramic coating on that.
With a ceramic coating.
Right.
Thank you, Jonathan.
So so that's when you get it, if you get the mirror finish, have them put a ceramic coating on it. The only thing you need to worry about are fingerprints, because when you touch the car, it's got a fingerprint on it. You have to. That's the only thing. You wipe that off, but the car doesn't get dirty.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm constantly walking. I use my elbow now to get into the Cybertruck so that I don't, put any fingerprints all over it. Picks up everything.
I'll get you a little white gloves for Christmas.
There you go.
Is the fingerprint problem any worse with the chrome than it was with the regular stainless?
Oh, it is, yeah. Well, you can. All you have to do is touch it. And see, it's so clear and clean that it'll pick up anything. So the fingerprint, you notice it. That's all. Unless you're right on top of it, you don't see it. But we see it because I'm always taking my shirt sleeve and rubbing off a fingerprint. I come back, I park, I come back, and some curiosity, people are looking at it and they touch it.
You just need a little spray thing and a little microfiber to carry along with you.
Right.
And Dick, I'll tell you what, a conversation piece. It doesn't matter where
I
you
don't
go.
see it as a problem though.
If you're social, that's good.
You have
fingerprint thing.
one of the things you've got in the truck now is called the Sentry mode, and you put it in Sentry mode, and anybody that comes out of the car, it videos them. So the fun thing is, you take it to Publix or Walgreens or wherever you're going, and you park your Cybertruck, and when you come back out, you got to show, because people are walking around and they're laughing, they're touching it, and then you see all that on the video, because the Cybertruck's got 8 cameras, and no matter where they go, they're videoed.
So you got people doing this, doing their hair in the car. Wow.
Hey, Dick, do you have any other questions? I've got a bunch of calls.
I've been there and done that, and I just wanted to relate. I got one, and I was going to go ahead with the experience of picking it up, but if you're in a hurry, I'll call back again. I had an unusual experience.
You did have an unusual experience?
Tell us about it,
Okay, well, the car was delivered down in Del Rey. Picked it up, and like I said, I'm familiar with Tesla because I've got the S and 60,000 on it. And when I picked it up, it worked fine. It looked beautiful. The people were great. Drove it home, parked it in the next to the garage, and just pulled my house charger out to plug it in. Well, I plugged in, it's charged off and on. It went off, went on. Then it come up on the dice, said, "Do not drive the car. The battery system can't support the electrical needs."
Huh.
So, turned out, I called Tesla about it. I just got home. It was just like Saturday morning. Well, sent a truck out, and within a half an hour, there was a tow truck there and put it on the back of it.
Wow.
And picked it up and took it down to West Palm Beach Tesla, and worked all day Sunday and got it fixed. It had a bad inverter.
Wow.
The power supply inverter was going bad, and they said they've been having a few of them. Anyway, they fixed it on Sunday and picked it up Monday, and it was all over. It works great.
Kudos to Elon Musk.
Yeah, and also I hear a lot of bad crap about the Tesla dealer. My experience with them over the last 5 years is good.
They are good. We've had a couple issues, but overall they're very, very good.
The only problem they have is they got more people, more work than they can get done.
Yeah,
absolutely. Hey, Dick.
And the other problem is their shop rate is $300 an hour.
Oh boy! Wow. Okay, we got some calls waiting.
Okay, take care.
Thank you, Dick. Stay in touch. We're going to go right to Marty, who has been patiently holding. Thank you, Marty. Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
How's that crown treating you?
Yeah, so far so good. I put it on the eco mode to see if I'm getting better mileage because I was only getting about 36 or 37, and it says you're supposed to get over 40. So this is my first tank on the economy mode, but I can tell it is definitely getting better mileage.
Oh, great.
So that part is good.
Fantastic.
Yeah, good information. So you changed your driving mode, and everything has improved.
Yeah, definitely.
Great.
But I got to ask Earl a question.
Okay.
I took my wife's 2021 CRV over to Ed Moore's Honda, and I see on their addendums they've got like 4,995 add-ons to the MSRP. Just a slight charge.
Oh, jeez.
And they have it discounted by 1,000. So the 4,995 they got it down to 3,995.
Yeah.
And that's without going into the finance office. I mean, so obviously I didn't. The guy gave me a good deal where he discounted it, but it still wasn't enough.
Well, I thought Ed has your back.
Yeah, well, he does.
Yeah,
way back.
He said with a dagger in it, right? That's it's amazing. I said earlier in the show, we're preaching to the choir. You're obviously an educated consumer, and you caught him in the act. The sad part about it, and the thing that really disturbs us on this show, is most of the people out there don't listen to the show. They don't read Consumer Reports. They don't go to ChatGPT, and they're taken advantage of. 99% of the retailers that they deal with, by the way we are in a civilized society in the 21st century, if you go into Target, you go into Apple, you go into Walmart, no one's going to lie, cheat, and steal from you. But you buy a car once every 4 or 5 years or 6 or 7 years, you're not prepared. You walk in there and they take it. And Ed Moore's Honda, they add $5,000 to the car for no reason. Some people say okay, and they sign in. That's how they make their money. You and I and other people listening to this show, that we laugh at these things. How could that happen? But there are a lot of victims out there, and they're keeping the retail automobile dealer alive and well. Yeah.
Well, the funny part is when the guy started writing up the contract, which I obviously didn't sign, they had the sticker. They took $3,000 off the sticker, and then they added on the $3,995.
Yeah.
So basically, they were giving you nothing off the sticker, and it's just ridiculous. But my question to you is, what that law is worthless.
Honestly, another worthless law.
I mean,
another law, another set of rules for us to, follow. Nobody's following them.
Yeah, we don't need new laws. We need new regulators, or we need fewer regulators. I'm not sure which.
Whatever
they're doing, they're not enforcing the law, and that's
it. The law's on the book. Let's enforce them.
And then just one other quick question that either you or Stu can answer. The crown is made totally in Japan.
That is correct.
So my question is, people wanted the price of eggs to go down, so they voted for Trump, but they didn't want the price of cars to go up.
Well,
so my question is, if it's made in Japan and he puts through all these tariffs, is that going to affect, even though it's a Toyota, but because it's from Japan?
Yeah, the tariffs. Toyota makes most of their fast-selling, their big volume vehicles in the United States, but there are still a few, like the Crown, that they're manufactured in Japan.
When I started in the business back in the 70s, there were huge tariffs on Toyotas, and at one time, the tariffs on all Toyota cars was so high that we couldn't afford. You couldn't bring them in. You couldn't sell them. So all we had for 2 or 3 years when I was first starting a business were trucks. they didn't put a tariff on the trucks. So it's just they finally broke down and had a reciprocity agreement. Of course, now it's not an issue because Toyota and most of the manufacturers of the world have manufacturing plants in the United States. So tariffs are only a short-term fix for something that needs a long-term solution.
Yeah, and I can only tell you this. Obviously, the Crown is not like a Cybertruck, but I've had a lot of people compliment the looks of the car,
Yeah.
which I've never had a car before.
It's nice
where
looking.
people come up to you and say, "Oh, it's a very nice looking car."
I think the biggest effect of the tariffs will be that you will be one of few driving that beautiful car around, and you're not going to have like a very common car. So enjoy it. You got it before the tariffs.
Yeah, what a great vehicle you have, Marty. I'll tell you, the short time that I drove the Crown, I got nothing but compliments and a whole lot of conversation.
It's amazing, and I don't want to look underneath it for any rust.
No.
So I don't really care if it's got any rust, but I hate to tell this lady that called.
Out of sight, out of mind.
Al Hendrickson is not going to do anything for her rust.
No.
I hate to tell her
Right.
that.
Yeah. Yeah. That's where we
Well,
think
thanks
the
so much
washing
for the
will
call.
work.
All right. Have a good weekend.
Thank you, you too. Let's go to the Roadrunner.
Beep beep.
Hey, Roadrunner, Boynton Beach. Are you
Oh,
still
good
there?
morning, everybody. How we doing?
Yeah, finally got you on.
Hey, how's your Thanksgiving?
I waited. You too. I want to do a follow-up on that electric charger, okay, that we talked about last week. That Pradzonic exhaust system is the company name that makes it. And I went on YouTube to listen to it, and I'm kind of surprised. It sounds very good. Also, the car will shake to give the driver and the passengers the feeling of a gas muscle car. So it was pretty interesting.
Wait, so it shakes too?
Yeah, it does a little vibrating in the car.
Oh,
So you
okay. It's like
feel
a
it.
massage seat chair.
But if you go on YouTube, you can hear how it sounds, and it sounds really good.
That's what I
was
figured.
shocked.
I figured it was you could fool somebody with a good speaker.
Yeah. I mean, I was shocked when I heard it.
That's
It
funny
sounded
with
like
the with
a
the
real
rumbling
gas
thing.
car.
Well, because
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys know about this, but gamers play video games. It's a huge a cultural thing, and driving games have people get very customized seats that rumble and tilt to simulate and the steering wheel that rumbles. So the cars are turning into that. The real cars on the road are turning into video games.
Yeah.
And the other thing is with the serpentine belts, they call it a serpentine because that's the way a snake moves.
Yeah.
If you ever notice the snake,
Yeah,
it
like
goes in extra.
Peter Falk and Alan Arkin.
Yeah,
Serpentine.
that's right. Serpentine.
Serpentine. See, you know.
Serpentine.
The other thing is you polish your Cybertruck. Now, if the sun hits that, will it cause an accident because people are blinded?
Not if people have good reflexes.
Well, no, that's a good question, and it worried me. And the only valid criticism of that mirror finish was exactly what you say. Now, I will say this: I haven't driven the Cybertruck at night, so maybe at night
You can't see it. And maybe it can't be seen at night.
maybe it can't be seen. I don't know, but during the day, I've had zero complaints about reflection. I don't think the angle of the angles don't cause a problem.
I mean, it could,
Okay,
but you have to be lined up.
I seen Cybertrucks in colors. Are they getting whatchamacallit? They're getting they're not painted.
No, they're getting wrapped. They're getting wrapped with
It's a wrap, yeah.
like a plastic type of material.
Yeah, because I seen a red one and a blue one.
Yeah,
Like that.
I saw a bright
And
orange one the other day.
Really?
Yeah, and the lady
like
with
that.
the exhaust pipe.
Like an emergency
Don't
vehicle.
worry about that. Worry about major problems. That's a
Yeah.
itsy bitsy problem
Yeah,
with that. You brought up the heat paint. You stole my thunder on that. The ceramic coating, like the headers used to get, so they don't burn. But what about if she goes stainless steel? I mean, she's going to pay a lot of money for nothing. with that. It's a waste of time.
Well, not if
Just
you're
let it
not
go.
if someone's shooting at you, because it'll stop a 9mm bullet.
Yeah, true.
It
But,
will, yeah.
But I wouldn't worry about a
not
rusted
357.
tailpipe.
No.
Because I'm looking at cars now. They all got rusted tailpipes down here.
Yeah, I
I mean,
know.
Walmart parking lot.
I know. But, you know, it
Yeah.
can be worrisome. You don't know where it's going to go. So I understand
Yeah.
your angst.
I think Steve was talking about for the lady with the Camry with the rusted exhaust. He was
Yeah,
talking about
right.
replacing
I'm
the
looking at
pipe
a
with
Ford
stainless
pickup
steel.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Only that would be extremely expensive.
It would.
And
Yeah.
not only extremely expensive, but let me share with the world about our stainless steel everywhere. We live on the beach. Guess what?
Yeah,
It's all rusting.
You got rusty steak
I know.
knives.
Thank you. There you go.
I know. I'm looking at a Ford pickup truck. It got a 12-inch exhaust pipe coming out on the side. It's rusty.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't do nothing about it.
You can, or you can buy marine grade stainless
Chrome,
steel
yeah,
with a
right.
high nickel content, but that costs a fortune. The boats that you see have the marine grade stainless steel. They don't rust, and they're right in the salt water.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stainless steel
True.
everywhere.
Okay. That's it for me. Have a good day and safe weekend, everybody.
Thank you,
Steve.
Steve. Okay.
Bob had texted for the rust solution to run open headers.
What?
Rick didn't hear that. Rick, a little extreme solution, run open headers for the rust problem on the exhaust. Rick is pondering.
Well, you're not going to pass emissions that way, though.
Well, they don't do that in Florida anymore.
Oh, who cares?
Right, but without, I guarantee the
would pull
local
over.
law enforcement officers
Well, no.
would have a very big issue with
Right.
the
And your
sound
neighbors.
your
I'm
car
saying
would
your
be
neighbors
making
and
at
all
that
that,
point.
yeah. Crazy.
For sure. Okay, we're going to hear from Stu,
Oh, yeah.
and then we're going to get to Rick.
Cool. I have something from Anne Marie.
Good morning, Anne Marie. Welcome.
Anne Marie says, "Good morning. I checked out your dealership's website because I was interested in seeing what the latest safety features are on new vehicles. I was gratified to see backup cameras listed on every vehicle I looked at. I realized that all-wheel drive is not as popular down here as it is in snow country, so I didn't see many vehicles with it, even though it comes in handy with our torrential downpours." That's a very astute observation. Recently they started offering a lot of the vehicles in all-wheel drive, but the way they get apportioned in allocations, they tend to go where the demand is higher. So, yeah, up in the northern states with snow, there's more. But we can get them down here. The one thing that struck me that is only a few vehicles come with blind spot monitoring. That feature strikes me as important as a backup camera. Why do only a relative few vehicles, looks like XLE models, have blind spot monitoring? Well, I'm not sure. We have the 2025s. 2025s, and I think it was on the 2024s. It's standard. That's part of the Toyota Safety Sense 3.0. So it has blind spot monitoring. It also has lane trace assist and also lane departure assist. So it will actually make a noise, vibrate, and nudge you back. So maybe it's possible. Maybe it's on a 2024 that wasn't. Even though I think it was.
Yeah, I don't know, but I thought they all had it.
Yeah, they do. That's part of it. So maybe take another look.
Maybe there was there an issue with microchips where they had to build them without the.
Nope. No, we got it. It's all on there. So anyway, the next question is if I wanted a new vehicle with a backup camera, blind spot monitoring, all-wheel drive, and without that annoying stop-start technology, would I have to special order the vehicle? You're going to get the blind spot monitoring without special ordering. All-wheel drive might take a little while to do locate a vehicle because you're right, they're not that common down here. And the start stops technology, I don't think you can do anything about that. Right, that's on the cars. You can't do it.
Now you do have the option, although you usually have to do this every time you get in the car. There's usually a button that you can access easily just to turn off that start-stop.
Yeah, but that's for that ride. Once you turn off the engine and start again, you got to redo it.
Yeah.
If you get habitual about it. Also, the next question: is there a safety feature that you think should be on all the new vehicles that isn't yet? Yeah, there's a bunch. A lot of them are like the stuff that are on the Teslas that Earl and Nancy get to use, the self-driving features, and the other one is the camera, the camera rear view mirror. To me, is so superior to the old traditional one. I mean, you're never having to crane your head to get a better view. It's a wider field of view. At night, it's like night vision. Everything like lights up. You get a really good view. So I'd like to see things like that. Rick's got something.
Automatic high beams on the headlights.
Yeah, that's good
to
too.
turn the beams down when you have approaching traffic
Yeah.
or you're coming up behind another vehicle.
Yeah, the automatic headlights is real nice. It takes a little getting used to because you think that your car is going to blind somebody because you see a car coming around the corner, but it sees it before you and it dims the headlights.
Yeah.
That's it for Anne Marie's.
Okay.
But I said,
You have your anonymous feedback?
I'll get that. But Bob also pointed out that although most Toyotas are made here in the United States, a lot of parts are sourced from overseas and come in and would be subjected to incoming tariffs, unless there are exemptions. And we also found out last time around, exemptions. People that split. It's the game, and so big corporations will be looking for concessions, and they were made like in Apple's case. I know that Toyota isn't just sitting by, worrying, and none of the manufacturers are. They're lobbying intensely to make sure it doesn't affect them. The last one is, I forget where this come from, but it's just a text. Backup cameras were mandated by federal law almost a decade ago. I don't remember when the implementation date was. We might be there.
I
Okay.
think backup cameras were actually federally mandated something like 8 to 10 years ago.
Right, that's what.
And all cars now have a backup camera. Which, by the way, folks, Christmas is coming. If you're looking for a gift for somebody, someone that has their car and drives their car a lot, unless they own a Tesla, consider a backup cam, or not a dash cam for their car. One that. Now that you've got many models, one that does just the front view. A lot of them have a second camera in the back to record out the back of the car. These are very important. You get a good view all the way around the car. And you even have some that have a third camera that records inside the car to record the passengers. Now, Florida, our highways are dangerous. People are distracted all the time. And a dash cam can mean the difference between your insurance company charging you for the accident and them going after the other person's insurance saying, yeah, the camera shows they were at fault and therefore they have to pay for it.
Yep.
We totally endorse that.
And if the other insurance company has to pay for it, your rates are not likely to go up. Theirs will.
That's a good suggestion. Do we have a dog or something?
Absolutely. No, we have finished with our callers with Facebook, and we are going to move to Big Dog Ranch episode. Okay. What can we say about Big Dog Ranch? Wow.
No dealer fleas.
Wow.
that
There
too.
you had their quote from Rick. No dealer fleas.
No dealer ticks either,
Okay.
if we're being honest.
Big Dog Ranch Rescue, I'm sure you've heard us speak about it. And what a fabulous organization. And in tradition, we will go to our dog of the week, which is Frosty. Frosty. Wow, what a great
Frosty.
name for this time of year.
Yeah.
Okay, Frosty came to the Big Dog Ranch from the, Texas border. And he's looking for a forever home. And he is enjoying his stay out at Big Dog Ranch. You can go to their website and you can check out Frosty and all the other dogs. You can also fill out an application that'll save some time because they do a background check. And you can go to www.bdrr.org. And you can read all about Frosty, and you can take a look at let me interrupt myself by saying the weather is great. It's just a great place to take, someone that's visiting you or take the kids.
Spend the day out there.
Yeah, take the kids out there. And Frosty is 2 years old. He's so cute. Wait till you see the video. He's a mixed breed, and he's considered a large dog, between 60 and 99 pounds. Although he looks
Closer to 60.
quite small. What do you think, Rick? What do you think his? And he's a male.
To me, he looks more like
is a
he's
male.
45 to 50 pounds.
Yeah, he doesn't. 60 is kind of big.
Yes.
He has very short
So
hair,
he's in a
so you
size
can see his
group.
physique.
That Big Dog Ranch has established, as a medium dog, which fits 60 to 99 pounds. Okay, Jonathan, would you roll the video?
Hi, my name is Nick. I work here at Big Dog Ranch, and this is Frosty. He's been here since January. He's a really sweet boy, pretty slow moving, likes to enjoy the pets and the slow times with his humans. He really needs a good home, and he'd love to go home with you.
That's
sure.
not Frosty barking, by the way. Frosty is chill, and Frosty is the guy that curls up at your feet while you got your hands cupped around your coffee in the morning, and he's your loyal dog. Love him. I love him. I had the whole image right there with him, sunrises by the beach.
You saw.
Oh, you guys should adopt him.
You say that with such passion. I love him.
I spend my early mornings with my dogs, and we'd kind of do that. I drink hot tea.
How therapeutic is that?
It is. It's like a meditation.
I mean, you're saving a lot of money.
Saving a lot of money on
Psychiatrist.
psychiatry, medication,
Right.
midlife crises. I'm not skydiving or doing anything stupid like that. So
You can skydive inside. Now, do you know that?
Inside my mind.
No.
Oh, yeah, I've done
Go
that.
to a location.
I did that. I went into Orlando. I did the indoor skydiving with my daughters and my wife.
Indoor skydiving. What is that?
It's a.
It's
a ride, like a ride.
No,
yeah.
you are.
No, you're in.
A big fan in
They
the
have
floor,
a DC-10,
and you float on it.
fan prop. It's like blowing
Is that right?
and it's blowing 100 and something mile an hour wind, and you get in a suit with a helmet, and you go in there, and they tell you what to do.
You'd be like Superman.
You fly for about 2 minutes.
Exactly.
You just got to do it.
Yeah, it really is very interesting. The most interesting thing that I did was I went, and Earl would never, ever do this, but I had this plane take me way up in the sky, and I was in a glider, and I think that's what it's called.
Right.
And
They
they
let go.
turned the motor off, and I was just in
That's
motion.
beautiful. I want to do that.
Right.
Because that's safer than skydiving, I think. Because you're in a plane, they can control
Yeah,
that.
I think
But
so.
it's quiet.
Yeah, and it was a great time. Okay, I think that it's time for us to get to the. Rick, I was told we didn't have time, so anyway, we're going to move into the mystery shop.
Were you going to sing something?
No,
Okay.
I wouldn't put you through that.
Maybe next Saturday.
I wouldn't do that to y'all.
Yeah, the mystery shop took Agent Lightning to Mercedes-Benz of North Palm Beach, and well, you be the judge. You can grade the mystery shop by going to 772-497-6530.
A, B, C, D, or F, and we go short on the A's and shorts on the F's. And this is South Florida. Take that into consideration. So, as Nancy said, Mercedes-Benz of North Palm Beach. They own the other two stores in this area. I'll speak of the first person as if I were Agent Lightning, our crack agent, who has been doing this for 2 or 3 years now. She does a great job. I walked into the showroom around lunchtime. I was greeted by a salesman who introduced himself with a firm handshake. Hi, I'm Mike, he said. Mike asked, are you here to see anyone specifically? No, I'm just looking to get a price on a new car, I replied. Great. Be happy to help you out. What exactly are you looking for? I explained my husband and I do a lot of traveling and are looking for comfort and good gas mileage. He went over the options available, electric, gas, hybrid, and explained each one in detail. He also pointed out how the front grille design, I just learned something here, I didn't know this, the front grille design indicates the trim level of each Mercedes-Benz. I did not know
I
that.
had no idea.
And it's hard for me to identify cars today. And I'll keep that in mind. So we used the cars on the showroom as an example of this. We even have a special deal on a car available for $499 a month. It's a lease, he added. It's a demo car we use for customers who come in for oil changes or warranty work. I pointed to a car out front that had caught my eye. What about that one? It's $171,000. Ooh. Yeah.
I'll take two.
All right. 171,000. You got to hand it to Mercedes. I mean, without blinking.
Right. And it's not even made of stainless steel and drives itself.
That's right. That's a high-performance electric car, he replied. But since the 2024 model, I could get you a really good deal. Remember, folks, I mean, 2024, that's calendar. We're in 2024 calendar year. We are in a position now where you're buying last year's car because this is November and this is December coming up pretty quick. So don't buy a used car. You're buying a 2024, you're buying a used car. And the salesperson, to credit, he says it's a 2024 model. There's some dealerships you go in there and you just say, "Oh, here's a new car," but it's a year old. I could get you a really good deal.
They're not going to have that conversation with you.
No.
It's new.
Yeah, right.
I can prove it.
Yeah, right. Hey, a new car's a new car.
I got a title right here, untitled right here.
Okay, how much, I asked the salesperson. We could take off around $25,000 to $30,000. God, you're in a Mercedes dealership. $25,000 to $30,000. And you think about 25 or 30, so 5,000 just doesn't make any difference. Yeah. I mean, it's just a lot of money. I shook my head. That's still a little too high for me. After reviewing all my options, I decided I was most interested in a particular SUV, 2024 GLS 450 4MATIC, parked in the showroom. The MSRP was $96,535. I knew this because it was on the Monroney label, and it was right where it belonged and properly affixed. You new listeners, you don't hear that in Florida very often. And in fact, we just, generally speaking, every dealer in Florida takes the Monroney label off in violation of federal law. So kudos to Mercedes dealership in North Palm Beach for not doing that. So this car is one of the few 2024 models left, Mike said. We're willing to make a deal on it. I'd love to see the pricing for this one, I told him. I like it a lot. Okay, so let's head over to my desk. Once at his desk, he pulled up the information in the system. I'm glad to see you're back. I get nervous every time I see that in a mystery shopping report because you think someone will remember.
And everyone takes for granted, that Agent Lightning just, finds her way in and out of these dealerships unscathed. But if you think about it, it is a dangerous job.
Yeah.
Someone turns to you and says, last time you were here, 2022.
And she never blinked.
And she had a comeback. She didn't skip a beat, whenever he said this with a smile. And he, was teasing her. So anyway, it was interesting how she handled that.
He remembered or didn't remember. So in the computer, they looked at, no, wait a minute, look at the same car back then. So let's make it happen for you today. Well, I'm glad my taste hasn't changed, she said, laughing. Like Nancy said, it never blinked an eye. Mike pulled up the car in the system and said, I'll be right back with a price for you. About 3 minutes later, he returned. We're having issues with the system, he said, but my manager authorized a 10% discount on any of the cars, any of the 2024s, I presume. I asked, can you do a detailed breakdown for me? He tried, but no matter what he did, the computer system wouldn't print. We've all been there and done that. We're highly reliant on technology these days. When it breaks, we're in trouble.
Yeah.
I'll write it down for you, he said, so you'll have the dealer fees and tag costs. So immediately just called what he had was a dealer fee. I say that because most dealers in Florida, anyway, come up with these exotic names for their junk fees. We stopped calling them dealer fees because that's dealers are now saying, I don't have a dealer fee. It's an electronic filing fee, or it's some other kind of fee because they make up a name for it. But in this case here, they call it a dealer fee, $995, and then the license was $223.75, and that is a legitimate taxable fee, non-taxable fee, and $200 title is again, no tax. and there's a 7% sales tax, which is obviously a government fee. I looked it over, doing the math in my head, decided it was time to go. Before leaving, I asked, could you email me a printout if the system comes back online? I said, we do this because most South Florida dealers won't give you a price unless you promise to buy the car right then and there.
Getting that business card, when I first read that, I was really disappointed, thinking it might not be true that their computer system's down.
Yeah.
Because the business card didn't give a whole lot of detail.
Oh, good. I never see you. You think
I was cynical.
You're more cynical than I am. I didn't think about that.
But I bet as you read on,
Yeah.
it will be,
Yeah.
read on.
Could you email? Let me check one more time. He said. Our technician is working on it. He returned a few minutes with a printout. I requested. The top line was MSRP. Oh, I did that. Did I? Yeah. No, $96,535. Took off a 10% discount for $9,635. Add the junk fees. What do you call it? A dealer fee, and the real fees, and the tax, making the total $93,962. As he walked me back to the door, he asked, "Are you sure you don't want to sit in this car before you go?" I like that. He's not pushy, but he's
Sure.
thorough.
Have you thought this through?
Sitting in a car is a magical experience. Buying cars are an emotional experience. I get you a great deal on it, $25,000 to $30,000 off. Why not? I'll sit in it. Mike pointed out many of the car's features, but then realized he didn't have the keys. I'll be right back. Returned shortly and said, I just found out someone bought it. After all that, right?
I believe it. I do.
I do too.
Yeah.
They're working with finance right now, but I can show you something else. Not today, I said. I'll be in touch. So there you have it. A South Florida Mercedes dealership in North Palm Beach. And you regular listeners are probably pretty impressed with this because it's
pretty good.
As I said, we grade on the curve.
Yeah, definitely. I think as I'm waiting for some grades to come in here, I think that the overall, like in South Florida, they did better than most. There was a few errors. I could think of something that the salesperson could have done to avoided the embarrassment of finding out that the car was sold, and that was touching base with his managers. I don't think they have a one person through the process, so he does have a desk with sales managers who are working deals, and he could have said, I'm looking at this GLS in the showroom, and they said, no, we got somebody going into finance right now on it. So it could have saved some time. But that's just that's me being a critical
Well, to
manager.
have a firm price, be it high, low, or in between, a firm price is a
good thing.
Good thing, yeah.
Yeah, it might not be the best. You could go look at another dealership and find a better price, but they did discount it, and so yeah, I think they get a B from me. Bob gives them a B plus, and Jonathan in Palm Coast says a dealer fee is a junk fee, but the rest of the fees appeared legitimate. Emailing the info when the system is up is positive. All in all, not a horrible experience. Actually, rather typical. They get a B plus from me. Okay, so B plus from the guys. B
Now
from
remember,
me.
they own two Mercedes dealerships adjacent to each other. The third dealership in this area is in Delray. I don't think they own that one. The problem with owning all the dealerships, one owner, is that is there going to be is there going to be price fixing? We should do that. We should do a mystery shop of two dealerships that are by the same owner and get prices on the same model year, make car, and see if they vary.
I think they're going to vary.
Yeah.
If they're doing like a traditional back and forth negotiating thing.
Yeah.
So who knows where the
I think you're right. Yeah.
But they're not really. Agent Lightning's not doing a lot of negotiating. She's really just kind of getting their first offer.
True.
And then sometimes she'll say, "Can you do better?" And then the manager will come out and what if them.
Yeah.
And so.
Well, she had a firm price, so she could have done the same thing twice.
Yes.
And walked out and see what.
Right. Okay. That's a future mission for Agent Lightning.
We got any grades coming in?
We do. We've got Tom Steckel says B minus. Luxury car dealers should not be charging $1,300 in junk fees compared to JM Lexus. T Cash says C. Oh, that one on special is sold. But this one over here.
I mean,
It's possible.
could, yeah.
Yeah. Tim Gilliland says, not terrible, but a healthy dealer fee, B. Neo Shazam, B. I can't handle the price, but relatively straightforward if the computer was out. Johnny C. Fradley, C. Based on the price of the car, the fees weren't too bad. Brian Sedlatko, this dealership wants to sell their vehicles, A. Myself, the junk fees keep them from getting much more than a B- out of me. Yeah, they discounted the car that's been sitting around. I think they've got it. They're trying to sell another 24. They could have discounted that one a little better, I think. But again, just put the junk fees in the price of the car where they belong and not add it on afterwards. So B-.
Okay.
Ooh, I got Joseph Kelleher says C+. Don't like the nearly $1,300 in junk fees.
Yeah. Junk fees. Do you have anything else?
No.
That's it right now.
But I have a feeling. I know where
You have
the
a feeling?
grades. I have a feeling where you're going to say.
Do you
and I
have a
fe-
crystal ball?
No, it's just it's a sense of things, and I think I kind of know where the grade's going to go. But you are variable, but I sense where you're going.
Okay.
All right.
Would you write it down and pass it to me?
I'll text you right now.
Okay, folks.
Don't say it yet.
No more fun and games. What can I say? You know by now I'm not into junk fees. And the fact that the car was already being looked at, or it was gone or whatever, move somebody into another, vehicle, that's some strategy that's always been used. I didn't like that. I was very happy that the Moroni label was, properly. It was properly affixed and where it belonged. That was great. So they probably would have got a B+ for me, but this morning I give them a C-.
Now look at your texts.
Da 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 da.
No.
I got it.
Yeah.
Stu predicted my
I kind of
grade.
cheated. I sent B in the beginning, and
Just
then
below
she
C
started
level.
to say something negative, and I went, C-, and then it went that way.
Folks, right here, Earl on Cars. Stu can read my mind.
Earl, what's your thoughts?
I'm gonna go with a B. I'm gonna give them a high grade. To me, the important thing is that they got a price, a fixed price. The thing I hate the most is when if you don't buy the car today, you won't get my best price. That is so childish and
Insulting.
It's just insulting. I mean, so a firm price goes a long way with me. And the dealer fees were brought out right away. In fact, the funny thing is he used the word dealer fee when in fact they didn't call it on their doc sheet. They called it a doc fee, I think. So
Yeah.
they call it a doc fee. No, he's not, he's not going to call it a junk fee. That's the reason we call it a junk fee, is because all the other names are taken up. So we call them all collectively. But
We would give an A to somebody who called their dealer fee a junk fee.
yeah,
Though.
but the fact that dealers are actually now advertising, we have no dealer fees, and then you go in there and they have a doc fee and an electronic filing fee. I mean, they ought to take those dealers out and put them in front of a firing squad.
And dealers that say
Holy
no
moly.
hidden fees, because they go, well, it's not hidden. It's there on the document. They can defend it.
I'll tell you something funny is that in the Stu, you'll enjoy this also because of the fact that the headlines of the current automotive news on November 25th was that the Attorney General of the state of Florida had decided to enforce the laws on the books that they had for 20 years. Now,
No, wouldn't it? Where? How?
That was 3 months. We've been talking about it for 3 months, and it just was bulletined in the automotive news. I'm not sure the significance of that, but why would they come out with something on November 25th that had been in the news for 3 months? I guess
I will have to ponder that. I don't know.
I think the ulterior motive.
Right here, 3 days ago. Okay, well, maybe she put it aside because there was a lot of campaigning. It was political season. She's going all sorts of fundraisers with everybody, and now it's time to get back to business. Well, 'cause she's her only hope now.
I don't know.
Okay.
Okay, how much time we got left?
3 minutes.
We have 3 minutes.
Okay. I'll go back to what I said at the beginning of the show, that we're in for a wild ride here with we have two presidents now, Elon Musk and Donald Trump, and if that isn't going to put a crimp in what's going on, the good news is, because personally, I'm nuts about autonomous cars. Nancy and I, we rely on our car. When we're going somewhere, we always put it in the destination, and we live with the little glitches every now and then. But you can be sure that the government of the United States will be dropping any kind of extra safety rules and regulations. They are going to expedite autonomous driving. It's going to come sooner rather than later. So, yeah, it depends on your personal desires.
It's going to go at the speed of Musk.
Yes, exactly.
It will. I mean, it's going to be scary and fun at the same time.
Yeah.
Wear your seatbelts, folks.
Buckle up.
All drivers out there, put some helmets on.
Buckle up, baby. Okay, Jonathan, we have 2 minutes.
We have 2 minutes.
2 minutes left.
I got one last question on YouTube here from George Petrillo. He says, do dealers sell a lot of cars on Black Friday?
Yeah, probably. A lot of dealerships advertise, do big Black Friday sales, but guess what? They're not really sales.
Yeah, and let me tell you what, if you think Black Friday is the answer, it really isn't. They want to get you in the door.
Yep.
And you can buy a car any day of the week if you do your homework, protect yourself, and just go in with all the information you possibly can. Take advantage of them. Don't let them take advantage of you. You're listening to Earl Stewart on Cars, and I want to thank everyone for tuning in. We'll be back here next Saturday morning, 8 a.m., so stay tuned. Have a beautiful weekend, everyone.